Well, guys, I'm sure you've all been waiting for me to do this. Yes, sure, there may be more Illumination rant videos to go after this one, but this one is something more than just me talking about how bad this is. This one is more than just your average bad movie. And I mean average bad Illumination movie. In my Random The Secret Life of Pets video, you were all excited for me to talk about this one, to destroy this one to pieces. And I may have done a rant in the sequel, which I still stand by my opinion, and no one can tell me that no one can tell me to give it a chance. Yeah, I am going to be, I'm finally going to be talking about the movie that spawned this overrated, horrible franchise. And now they've even greenlit a third film, which I did a rant on that announcement, and I can't believe it exists. So yeah, I'm here today to do a rant, an epic rant. Although no, I just titled it rant because I'm sure because you guys don't like me title it extreme rant or epic rant or big rant. So yeah, so yeah, so yeah, I'm here today to do a rant and sing. So Sing came out in 2016 and is the second Illumination movie to come out in 2016 and is directed by Garth Jennings and stars as an A-list cast. Why is there so many big name Hollywood stars in this? Like so many really talented actors. But yeah, this stars Matthew McConaughey, Reese Witherspoon, Seth MacFarlane, Scarlett Johansson, John C. Reilly, Taron Egerton, Tori Kelly, Jennifer Saunders, Jennifer Hudson, Garth Jennings, Nick Kroll, Nick Offerman, and a bunch of others. And basically, the plot tells a story of Buster Moon, who's pretty much a show businessman because he's been dreaming of making theater shows ever since he was little. But then his shows were bombing because no one watches them and no one literally cares, including myself. And so Buster Moon doesn't want to give up, and he decides to make a singing competition because that surely would attract people to watch it. And yeah, he makes a singing competition, and yeah, basically people audition. People are auditioning for the role, and Buster Moon selects them, and then they practice, and then the show happens. And yeah, and one major plot point is where it's when a mistake happens when Buster Moon was supposed to offer $1,000 as a prize, but it became $100,000 because of a typo that Miss Crowley did. And so basically, Buster Moon panics, and of course, liar reveal cliche happens. And meanwhile, this movie has a lot of subplots. Basically, there's like a bunch of main characters. Rosita being a stay-at-home mom, and struggles to balance her life with that, and well, basically, all the main characters balance their life between their personal life and being part of the singing competition. I imagine Rosita, Ash is a rock star who pretty much got dumped by his boyfriend because his boyfriend is a jerk. Um, Mina is shy because well, they need to make sure people can relate to her. And okay, I think I'm definitely missing someone. Mike is a mean character who gets in the same competition because he wants to win. Johnny is part of a criminal gang, and yeah, the Soya subplots. Okay, well, I'm done explaining this plot. There is no plot for this movie. There's like very little plot. I mean, this movie is basically all concept and no plot. Okay, let's get into some introduction about this movie. Before I give you guys the reason why this movie sucks. Because I don't need to tell you guys this movie sucks because it does suck. It is a disaster. So yeah, I was kind of looking forward to this movie actually, Yeah, mainly because because I love music, and Sing was going to have songs in it. And it was going to have singing. I was a huge diehard fan of musicals, and and also I like the cast. It's like great. There's some like really great actors in here. Like especially Scarlett Johansson and Taron Egerton. Probably two of my favorite cast members who are joining here based on their overall careers. And also yeah, I mean even now even in my even now as a 19-year-old movie critic, I still would have like said that this movie had some potential. Um, you can clearly see in the trailers some of the illumination like shenanigans are present, and I would have been excited for this mainly for Scarlett Johansson, Taron Egerton, and also Matthew McConaughey in this also Matthew McConaughey. I would have been excited for, yes, similar to how I was excited for Super Mario Bros. Movie when the cast was announced because of Anya Taylor-Joy being in it. But of course, while the trailer looked good, but yeah, honestly, I never really liked seeing that much when I saw this movie in theaters. I said it was mid. It was fine when I first watched it. Yeah, I said it was mid. And yeah, I gave it like a 6 out of 10 when I first saw it. But the more I thought about it, my thoughts got worse and worse and worse and worse. Pretty much similar to every single Illumination movie. Yeah, yeah, my thoughts on all the Illumination movies declined when I started becoming a critic because I realized how offensively bad Illumination movies are, especially the bad ones. And yeah, and you probably know my fuming hatred for it now, especially with that God awful thing to one of the worst movies I have ever seen in my life. Oh yeah, and you know what was the worst part of this experiencing it for the first time? I saw it in theaters for my birthday. On my birthday, yep, my 13th birthday. Yeah. Honestly, if I was smarter than that, if I and I kind of saw a better movie in theaters for my birthday. Yeah, well, I did see Assassin's Creed in theaters a week before, but let's be real here. Assassin's Creed is far better than Sing, in my opinion. Yeah, but Assassin's Creed is more. I mean, no, not far better. I meant to say more watchable. Can't stand Assassin's Creed. It's in my top five worst video game movies, but it's certainly better than Sing. And yeah, I mean, if I was like if I had a better taste in movies at the time, if I actually started getting into Oscar movies, and if I was older, I would have actually watched La La Land in theaters. Yeah, La La Land. When I saw Sing in theaters, La La Land was actually showing next door, and yeah, I adore La La Land. It's my favorite live action movie 2016. Zootopia is still my favorite movie 2016, but La La Land is a close second, and it is my favorite Damien Chazelle movie. I adore La La Land, and yeah, I love it to death. It is probably the best non-Disney musical, and neck to neck with Titanic as the best romance movie of all time. And it could have been a far more worthy theatrical experience than this baby movie. And also, it makes sense for me to compare this to La La Land because they're both musicals, they're both December releases in the end. And also, they both came out the same day in my country. So yeah, so yeah, it's I saw this one, and of course I had to sit through it. So yeah, now let's get into everything I hate about Sing. And yeah, now let's start off by asking, is there anything good? Is there anything I liked about Sing? No, there is nothing good about this worthless movie. Yeah, this movie is worthless. This movie has nothing of value, and honestly, it's actually even worse. It's actually even worse than I expected. Yep, this is now officially my second worst Illumination movie of all time, second only behind Sin 2. And yes, it's worse than the Lorax. It's worse than the Hop. It's worse than Minions, and it's actually worse than both Norm of the North and Ice Age Collision Course. Yep, this movie makes Norm of the North look like the Super Mario Bros. Movie in comparison to this. Like, and yeah, it's not as bad as Sing 2, and thankfully this isn't the worst movie that's of 2016. That year had Trolls, which is my worst movie of all time, but this is my second worst movie of 2016. That this comes in a very close second, and yeah. 2016 was actually a really great year for movies, like especially anime movies. I mean, probably one of the better years in the 20th decade when it comes to animation. I mean, there were actually a lot of bad movies that year, like this, Trolls, Norm, Ice Age, Collision Course, The Wildlife, Secret Life of Pets. But there were a lot of movies that I thought were absolute disasters. But thankfully, they were overshadowed by the good ones. You know, Zootopia, Kubo and the Two Strings, Moana, underrated Sausage Party. Yeah, I don't care. The Sausage Party is the most underrated movie 2016. I don't care what anyone says. Kung Fu Panda 3. I'm sure I'm missing something, but whatever. You get the point. But yeah, Sing is just yeah, I think 2016 is an overhated year for movies. I hear people say that this is the worst year, but there were a lot of bad movies. But there were just a lot of like anime movies that year in general. So yeah, I can easily for I can easily forget 2016 for having a lot of bad movies, since it is a very big year for movies. But but that doesn't mean I can be forgivable to this. Yeah, 2016 was an awful year for Illumination. I think one of the worst one of the worst years for Illumination. Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, now I remember the movie I forgot to mention. Your Name. Yep, really excited to see the new one, Suzume. Yeah, highly recommend Your Name. By the way, very mature anime film. But yeah, anyway, back on the topic. Yeah, 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 2016 was an awful year for Illumination, but also, and it was just a year away before I actually realized that Illumination is nothing at this point. It was just Illumination just making a bunch of meaningless baby corporate garbage, and that's exactly what Sing is, a baby movie. Yeah, this remember when I said in the Secret Life of Pets Red, where that movie is the definition of Illumination being for big, like making their movies just for kids, and having such safe and generic corporate product. Well, Sing is that but double. Yeah, 2016 is a perfect year of what it's a perfect example for what Illumination have become. So yeah, this movie is so formulaic and so basic on every single levels. Like literally, this is a movie made for babies, and literally this movie is just made for 3-year-olds and no one else older. Yeah, even kids who don't have a brain would seriously get bored to death. Yeah, this movie is nothing. Yeah, just like Minions and Secret Alphabets. Nothing. There's nothing in this movie. Yeah. This movie is just basically a bunch of plots and characters. Basically, if you yeah, so basically, if this movie should be good, you need to care about the characters, because I think this movie is more of a character driven than a plot driven, because there's essentially no plot. It's just a bunch of side stuff that's going on, and it's basically just making you quote unquote relate to these characters. And if you actually cared about these characters, if you cared about Buster Moon, Rosita, Johnny, Ash, Mike, Mina, if you can actually invest in these characters, if you like them, then that's how you like the movie. But if you don't like these characters, if you don't care about these characters, then game over. Your movie already sucks. And I hated every single character, like, or at least most characters. Some characters are meh. Some characters I think I'm meh on. They're not that bad, but yeah. Let's talk about the two characters I find meh. Two of probably the best characters, but they are just mediocre characters. First one is Johnny. Literally, like, Johnny is one of the more tolerable characters. But not there's nothing much in him. There's nothing much to say. He's just your stereotypical son who wants to impress his dad too, and basically his dad wants to be like, his dad forces his son to be like him, but he wants to go in a different direction, but he doesn't. And Mina is the shy. And Mina is also another character who's kind of horrible, but most of the time she just cries, and and also literally and like literally I side with the people who say that Mina is a loser and pathetic and all those bad stuff, because that's pretty much her character in a nutshell. Oh yeah, and yeah. all the characters are stereotypes. They're literally a bunch of cliches. Yeah, like really, every single character arcs like shown in this movie, they were all like pretty much characters you've seen before. Yeah, you've seen all these character developments. You've seen all these character arcs before in other characters that it's just become cliche. Yeah, this movie is one big pile of cliche. Yeah, so basically Buster Moon is your typical person who just wants to accomplish what he wants to accomplish, but then he doesn't have enough stuff to do it. Like he doesn't have the 100% guts to do it because he's missing something. So he pulls off a lie, and then literally have this wire cliche about where literally there was nothing on the price box. There was no money, and yeah, that was so stupid. Oh yeah, and also that like there was literally no consequence to that. And also yeah, that's probably another thing. There's literally no consequences to actions. I can't really say because a lot of scenes I already forgot about. So yeah, but I'm sure there was something in there that I can say that like literally they do something bad, but not but literally there are no consequences of whatsoever. Okay, what else can I say? Oh yeah, then let's talk about the other characters and all the tropes. Yeah, Ash is basically this teenager who is pretty much who has a jerk boyfriend. His boyfriend wants Ash to do what he wants. But I mean Ash wants to go her own way, and yeah. Also, by the way, speaking of this, oh yeah, wait, no, I'll get back to that later. Yeah, I mean okay, no, yeah, I'll talk about. Oh yeah, let's talk about sorry, I'm lost. Yeah, there's like so many endless negatives. I could go on and on and on about negatives. Yeah, this is pretty much another case with Hop. This is the same thing as like what happened in my Hop rant where I couldn't really think of where to go, what to talk about because it's just a bunch of endless negatives. But yeah, let's talk about the pigs now. Yeah, I think Rosita's. I forgot to mention Rosita in the mediocre characters like Johnny and Rosita. No, and Johnny and Mina. Rosita is probably the quote unquote best character in these same movies. But she's just an average, boring as stay at home mom who pretty much does some stupid stuff to be able to go out but like secretly go out without her kids watching. Yeah, that's like literally cliche. So that I mean that's pretty much the development of superheroes. Basically, they go out and then they pull out something to make sure to lie about it to be able to hide the fact that they're actually out. Yeah, how many times have you seen that before? But yeah, I think Rosita is far more tolerable than any other characters. Some of the side characters are really bad as well. Like Eddie is like really obnoxious and he's only there just to stare at Buster Moon and listen to whatever he says. Miss Crawley is dumb. Like literally, now I know yeah she's old, she's 200, but she's dumb and also her animation, her design is horrible. I will certainly get to the animation later, but yeah. And also a bunch of side characters, a bunch of characters who come out of nowhere. There's like this group of Japanese pandas who literally just who sings this really cringe song. Who sings Fuck or I think it's Muck. Literally sings this really cringe song. But Buster Moon does. Buster Moon said that they're out. They didn't get a spot in. They literally just keep coming back like on the screen and they continue singing it like why like seriously they're already out, like why do they need to come back? I mean, what is the point of that? Yeah, what is the point of them just coming in just to keep singing? They think they're bored, but the problem, they don't understand English. Okay, that's where one major plot hole lie. How are they able to get in the competition, enter the competition if they don't know they don't if they're surrounded by people who speak English and they don't know how to speak English and yeah, literally I mean yeah sure they're Japanese, they speak Japanese, but they're in America. Like this movie takes place in America, so they need to learn English whether they like it or not. But yeah, honestly it's hard for me to imagine people who don't even know how to speak English. It's just hard for me to imagine that. I mean, English is pretty much the easiest thing in the world, the easiest thing to learn, like literally. Um, but then and then there's a scene where like Pastor tries to read something as in Japanese to tell them they're in the show, but then they just get offended by whatever he said and just just quit. I wonder what is it they said. What is it they said that I mean, what is it that Buster Moon said? That I'm curious to know. Maybe they should have put in subtitles. Oh yeah. And also, yeah, let's talk about how this movie wastes its A-list cast. I mean, you got so many big actors in there. So, I mean, I expected more from this movie. I mean, if you wanted to do a movie with A-list cast, like make it good. At least a Super Mario Bros. Movie is able to handle their cast well. But the thing about Mario is that most of their casting they've been in like various anime films before, so most of them are known by their anime roles. Like for example, Chris Pratt is known as Emmett, Charlie Day is known as Benny, Charlie Day is best known as Benny, Jack Black is best known as Poe, Seth Rogen is best known as whatever anime role he's been on. I think Bob from Monsterverse is, I think, and yeah, and this movie literally consists of award-winning or award-nominated, award-recognized stars. Well, Super Mario Bros. Movie does have one award-recognized star, and that is Anya Taylor-Joy, who's literally like who literally won awards for her performance as Beth Harmon. And yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy is the best of the cast. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, this one you got Matthew McConaughey, Reese Witherspoon, Taron Egerton is in this. Like, what have they done with these casts? Like, they literally waste their talent, yeah. And they all gave their worst performances in their respective roles. Matthew McConaughey, Matthew McConaughey, this is his worst performance. He's awful. Like, he's way better as Cooper in Interstellar. Reese Witherspoon is also embarrassing. Like, she's way better. Like, watch her and Walk the Line instead. Yeah, like, instead for boring voice acting. And yeah, that's what shall I say about Rosita. She's pretty much a boring pig. Yeah, remember in Peppa Pig Unrated? Yeah, I know Peppa Pig Unrated is pretty much dead at this point. But remember when Lambo Rocks called like Rosita referred to Rosita as the boring pig, the boring pig. Yeah, that's literally Rosita in a nutshell. She's boring. And when Buster Moon said that Rosita was boring, that's literally her character. That's literally her character. She's a boring pig, a boring character. But she's not really an offensively written character. So that's why she's probably the best character in the movie. And Seth MacFarlane, literally the showrunner Family Guy, I think, or at least the main star of Family Guy. Yeah, watch Family Guy instead of Sing. Yeah, don't waste your time with his voice acting. Also, you got Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph in this movie. John C. Reilly. Wow, what another waste. Yeah, he was way better as Ralph. Also, also shout out to him as Corpseman Day in Guardians of the Galaxy. A very underrated performance, and I think it's tied with Ralph as his best performance. And yeah, Taron Egerton, like. Taron Egerton, what are you doing here? I mean, you had so many great performances. Is this how you follow up your epic performance in Kingsman? And I feel like Taron Egerton, like pretty much he was like, and also Taron Egerton literally sang this Elton John song "I'm Still Standing" just so he can get a role as Elton John himself in Rocket Man, which by the way, Rocket Man is a masterpiece. But yeah, also not only this, but Elton John also himself also having a guest appearance in Kingsman: The Golden Circle, which by the way, Elton John was probably the standout of Kingsman: The Golden Circle. He was hilarious in that movie, and I was laughing so hard at his jokes. But yeah, him just Taron Egerton just promoting like just saying, oh, I want to play Elton John someday, so I'm gonna sing an Elton John song. No, that's just really a waste of time. Like to promote Elton John by being in this garbage wing. But the one performance that really deeply upset me the most, I'm upset by the fact that this actress was in this movie, and yeah, she's probably the best in the cast, and Yeah, and that is Scarlett Johansson, aka Black Widow in the MCU. Scarlett Johansson, why? Why are you in this? You should have just stayed in the MCU as Black Widow, not join this garbage. And not only is it embarrassing that, about the fact that she is in this, but this is Scarlett Johansson's worst performance. Not yeah, well, obviously her worst performance. She has actually given the worst performance in the cast. Like literally, it's so embarrassing that she was Black Widow. She was amazing as Black Widow. Also, I think she's an Oscar nominated actress as well for Marriage Story. I think she personally I think ScarJo should have won Best Actress for Marriage Story at the Oscars instead of Judy Gear in well Judy what do you call it well I forgot the actress name, but yeah, well I don't remember what her name is, but I haven't even seen that movie anyway, so I don't even remember the name, but yeah, ScarJo should have won, but yeah. But you know why Scarlett Johansson's in this? I mean, literally for most of the time, she has a voice crack. Like her voice cracks so much, and also some of her really bad like fake performance, her fake acting is shot in this. Like for example, there's a scene where where Ash was singing "Call Me Maybe." By the way, very overhated. By the way, I love that song. I think "Call Me Maybe" is an overhated song. And like while he was like rehearsing "Call Me Maybe" in front of Buster Moon, she was literally crying, and then she was crying. The way that Scarlett Johansson portrayed it crying, oh my goodness, it is so bad. Like it's so her crying is so fake. Like literally, like I was literally laughing when Ash was crying while singing "Call Me Maybe." I was laughing. And speaking of that, I'm sorry, but Scarlett Johansson has a terrible singing voice. I don't like it. That's probably the weak spot. Scarlett Johansson, please do not be in musicals ever again because she can't sing. I'm sorry. No offense to Scarlett Johansson. She can't sing. She can't sing. Yeah, literally, literally, like the way she sang "Call Me Maybe" is so out of tune. In the audition, she was like saying, "Yeah," God, it was like it made my ears bleed. And also she had a horrible original song, "Set Me All Free," which is just cringe. Yeah, and yeah, I can't stand it. But I still have yet to get to the two worst characters in a movie. Now, yes, I mentioned Seth MacFarlane already, like giving an embarrassing performance, but I mean, Mike is so bad. Like, I hate this character. Thank God he was not a Sing 2. Like I mean, imagine if he actually wasn't singing too. But yeah, this character is so mean. Like he's like, not. I mean, yeah, sure. Sometimes I'm usually forgivable when it comes to characters being mean, but Mike is something else. Yeah, literally he's kind of like he acts like the villain of the movie where he literally just makes other people cry. He bullies other people, and he's kind of like a criminal. And literally he has his cliche romance with a mouse who doesn't even talk. Yeah, so yeah, yeah, this mouse, I don't even remember her name, and I don't care. And also he gets chased by a gang of bears. Yeah, yeah, I couldn't stand that. But my worst character in the movie is Gunther. Oh, yeah, I hate Gunther. He's so annoying. Also, by the way, I hate Nick Kroll. I never mentioned this. Yes, Nick Kroll had a few good performances. One perfect example being Professor Booby Pants in Captain Underpants. But here, this is his worst performance. I hate everything about Gunther. He has an annoying voice to his stupid sing of rah 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 rah. Shut up. Yeah, yeah, I know, John. Also, by the way, I'm a defender of Bad Romance by Lady Gaga. I know there are people who hate it and say it's Lady Gaga's worst performance. Yeah, sure, it's no Hold My Hand and no Shallow, but I like Bad Romance. I mean, yeah, maybe I hated it at one point, but like recently, a few days ago, when I was on my way home from school, I heard Bad Romance in the radio, and honestly, that song it's not that bad actually. I was like, yeah, the song was actually pretty good. The problem is just the fact that Nick Kroll sang it, and it made me hate the song for a while. Like every time I hear that, I was like, it kind of gives Bad Romance a bad name. And yeah, also he's annoying. Like he's just so boss. He's a horrible team player to Rosita. Like they both like don't even work well as a pair. And they literally pulled out a perfect performance without even rehearsing. And oh yeah, that's probably another main problem with the movie. They literally like they don't rehearse, yet they get it perfectly. Like yeah, it's so perfect. Like no mistakes. So like why like how like I mean like how can you just do it? I mean yeah, but to be fair, Hollywood's done a lot of times. Cough cough Ray. But yeah, yeah, Hollywood is making that mistake a lot of times, but this one is just something because, I mean, literally, it encourages kids to not practice. Yeah, sure, they practice, but they literally practice different songs in rehearsals, and then the actual, like, the final scene, they literally, like, sang a different song without even practicing. Like, for example, Gunter and the Rosita were supposed to sing Venus, like that song from that Beth Harmon was dancing to in the Queen's Gambit. That my favorite scene in that show. Um, and yeah, they were supposed to sing that, but then in the last second, the song that they actually sang is "Shake It Off," and yeah, there's like literally no preparation for it. They just straight up did it so perfectly. Cause why not? Because the movie just needed them to. Oh, and by the way, actually as well, how they handle the songs here is so bad. Like there's like hundreds of pop songs, and every single one of them is ruined. Like wow, like they sing it horribly. Like the ones that I can recall, yeah, I'm Still Standing. I mean, it's literally just Taron Egerton promoting him, like literally saying, "Oh, I want to play Elton John," which I already mentioned that. My Way is like so. My Way is horrible. Like they literally changed the word man to mouse. That was executed horribly. I already mentioned how bad the Scarlett Johansson's "Set Me All Free," the original song is, and I hated how they handled "Call Me Baby." Again, "Call Me Baby" is one of the most overhated songs I've ever heard. I like that song. Like, it's in people's top 10 worst songs, but I'm sorry. It doesn't deserve it at all. But yeah, the way I hate how Scarlett Johansson sang it. Like, it's just, she just can't sing. And that audition scene. Oh my God, that audition scene. Yeah, that was probably my least favorite scene in the movie. Yeah, that scene is literally just a bunch of singing like some cringy songs, and it just makes it so cringe. But like, there okay, like yeah, I don't remember. Oh yeah, they played Jump, like a song in Ready Player One, and it was so bad. And Also Taron Egerton sang Stay With Me, and my God, it was so. That song was also painfully bad. And also, am I missing something? Okay, well, I don't remember all the songs in here, so yeah. Oh yeah. Also, that original song in the credits, Faith, cringe. That is just beyond cringe. But I have not even talked about my biggest problem with the movie, and I've actually saved that for last because I'm already ending this. I haven't even like talked about it yet, but now I will. The biggest problem with Sin, not just this movie, but even the sequel as well, it also has the same main problem. It is the runtime. Normally, Illumination movies would have a runtime of 90 minutes, or some of them are even shorter than 90 minutes. Literally, this movie is almost 2 hours long, like probably like an hour 50 minutes long. So, with a long runtime, you might expect a major plot. You might expect a major plot and something like that, but no, this movie is literally a waste of time. It literally does nothing with the long runtime, and it is way too long. Like this movie feels like it's taking forever. It feels like 5 hours. Like I was literally waiting for this movie to finish because I care about nothing. And the movie, like what I said in like earlier on in the video, there is no plot. It's just all concept and concept and subplots. And yeah, this movie literally wastes its 1 hour and 50 minutes of it. Like this should have been just 80 minutes. Like this could have been the shortest Illumination movie, but no, they just want to make it the longest. Plus, how come this movie has a long runtime yet Mario's only 90 minutes? Like, yeah, that's probably I actually have a nitpick for Mario. Spoiler alert for my review, but I wish it was longer, just as long as these say movies that literally did not need to be this long, because it's just boring and it's nothing. Literally nothing happening. And yeah, oh yeah, and guess what? This movie has no ending. Yep, literally right after the last song, right after the last song in this movie, it just straight up ends. Yeah, there is no ending to this. Oh wow, Illumination! You're just like, I bet Illumination was just so excited to finish this that they just okay, they're like okay, let's just end this and then end. So yeah, woo, wow, that is a lot to take in from this horrible nightmare of a movie. So yeah, Sing is one of the worst movies I have ever seen in my entire life. Like literally my top five worst movies. I was like I should have known that this movie was almost just as bad as the sequel. Yeah, this movie is literally the definition of generic. Yeah, you want to watch a generic movie with a bunch of stereotypes and generic tropes. This movie is the perfect example of it, because this movie is a waste of time. It does nothing with what it wants to offer. It wastes a bunch of award-winning cast members. Like why? And yeah, this movie is actually has no plot. It's just all concept and all quote-unquote character arcs. Where it's just a bunch of characters you've seen before. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about the animation. So I'll talk about it quickly. Yeah, the animation is just illumination laziness. Like literally, these animals don't feel like animals. Don't feel like animals at all. They're just animals who are just plain humans, and it makes them so boring. And even the design is boring. Like literally, the only time I saw an animal trait was when Ash, who is a porcupine, like pokes, like has this poking thing, the sharp objects. I forgot what it's called because I don't care. Coming out like and poking like other characters. Yeah, that was the only time when this movie didn't show some animal trait. At least in Secret Life of Pets, the animals felt like actual animals, so you actually got some animal vibes. Despite my thoughts on Pets, Secret Life of Pets, and also yeah, if you want to see a better movie with anthropomorphic, sorry, I don't know why I suck at this. I'm just running out of breath from all this yelling, but yeah, just watch Zootopia instead. And I can't believe some people are saying that this movie is better than Zootopia. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna attack anyone. But how is this better than Zootopia? Oh, is it because Zootopia is mature with mature themes and a deep story, and this one is lighthearted and for babies and more kid friendly? Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. Like, there's nothing, even on their own, there's like nothing this movie does better than Zootopia in quality. So yeah, I guess that's all. I'm done ranting and sing. I'm done with this 40-minute epic rant on this horrible nightmare fuel of a movie. Yeah, the same movie is probably Illumination's worst franchise to date, and I'm baffled that Sing 3 exists. Yeah. So yeah, you all know my rating for Sing. It's a 1 out of 10. Screw this movie. Oh man, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? So yeah, that's all for my rant and Sing. What is your opinion on this movie? Do you agree with me that this is one of the worst movies ever, or do you like this movie? Are you one of the people who like this movie? Because I know there are people who like this movie, but I mean no, I accept your opinion if you like this movie, but if you think it's better than Zootopia, then no. So yeah, comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my rant on Despicable Me 3. So yeah, bye guys.